Hi, everybody. It's Jared Johnson with Day Traders FX. It's a lovely Monday evening. We've had bank holidays in the US and UK today, so usually we have a little Monday webinar that I invite everybody to. But due to the holiday today, I figured I'd just make a little quick recording this evening as markets are starting to move so that you can have a little bit of an idea of what we're looking at this week. And I hope everybody had a good holiday, Monday holiday, those that celebrate it. But I'm excited to be back to the charts. It was a nice fun weekend, but there's a lot of good stuff coming up this week that we need to be ready for. So let's just rock and roll this whole thing. Just to start things off, remember you can go to my website daytradersfx.com and you can get set up with a free trial just right at the front of the page here. Just click on get started. And you can see how we're going to more actively day-to-day trade some of the things that I'm going to talk about. Because we have some pretty excellent setups right now that I'm kind of loving a lot. There's still enough volatility left. There's enough change in news that we should see some really, really good movements even as we get into summer. Sometimes summer can consolidate and get a little choppy, but it looks like we've got a lot of volume and a lot of push right now in the market. So let's take advantage of that. This week should be an excellent week. Not to mention the end of this week is also the end of the trading month and calendar month for that matter, which brings a lot of volume and volatility. So we should see some huge movements throughout the week and to finish the week off. So this is going to be a great week, and we'd love to have you with us. So again, get a free trial at daytradersfx.com. You just click right here, right at the front of the page. That'll get you started. You can see how we trade this stuff day to day. We have live sessions twice a day, so there's lots and lots to cover, lots of good stuff. Okay. As far as the calendar goes, we don't have a lot of really big news announcements this week. Again, the Friday is the last trading day of the month, and things get pretty big usually on the last trading day of the month, so we should have a very exciting week all the way into the end of the week. You can see that tomorrow morning, durable goods for the U.S. This is always an interesting announcement on the dollar pairs and can definitely make things move. So durable goods will be worth watching. And then on Wednesday, we're going to have a live session for this. You can count on that. We have the Bank of Canada interest rate announcement as well as the rate statement. The last couple of those have been pretty exciting. Last one was pretty low key, not a lot of movement. The one before that we grabbed like a couple hundred pips, and so this is a great mover. So we'll cover this live in the trading group for members. So again, good time to get a free trial and see how we trade some of those news announcements. And then we've got a little bit of news on Thursday, some GDP numbers for the UK, unemployment claims for the US, and so on. And then going into Friday, we have some GDP numbers for Canada. So regardless of the fact that we don't have huge news announcements this week, this is going to be a big week. Mark my words. So be ready for that. Okay, so for those of you that follow me on Twitter, and I hope you do, you can definitely follow me on Twitter. It's just like the website, DayTradersFX. It's at daytradersfx.com. And you can, if you go to my website, daytradersfx.com, and you just scroll down a little bit, you can follow me on Twitter. You can find my Facebook page. You can even send me an email if you have any questions about anything there. And I'd love to hear from you and chat with you and talk to you about anything you like. But definitely follow me on Twitter. If you click on that link, that'll take you to my Twitter site there. And you can see that in the last yesterday, I sent out two charts. These are just two free charts on dollar yen and on euro dollar, and they're both running nicely. Now, here is our trading view chart on the euro dollar bear flag. Now remember, TradingView, this is where things were when I posted it. I've been talking about the euro dollar quite a bit. The 110.50 is our area. That's our level to watch. A lot of people would think 110 is the area, and it actually is 110.50 that's really the important one. 110 is a good round number, but 110.50 was just the level on the euro dollar. It's been tested many times. And as I said here, 110.50 was our level, and we're bearish below 110.50. Well, it just so happens that this euro dollar made a pretty nice little bull flag, or excuse me, bear flag for us, ran down nicely, and it's just hopping around. And our next target is 108.50. If it gets back up above 110.50, then we'll start taking a bullish stance once again. But below 110.50, we're bearish. So when I posted this was kind of just sitting right there, and it actually one candle was just barely starting to peak down below. And now it has continued to just move lower and lower and lower. So from the time I posted it, it's down 60 pips, and from our big level of 110.50, it's down a little over 100 pips. And down, by down I mean down through that level, but it's actually in profit a good little chunk of pips. So this has been working out very, very nicely. And if you're following me on Twitter again at DayTradersFX, you can see these charts as well. I posted a dollar yen chart. This is another one that I'm pretty excited about that we're watching. The dollar yen has moved a little bit less, but it's also created a bear flag. Good heavens, a bull flag. The euro's got a bear flag, the dollar yen's got a bull flag. There we go. So the dollar yen's created a nice little bull flag. It's still struggling, but it's making its move. This break above about 121.50 starts the movement and takes us into 122.50 and 123.00. Now, this is a nice little bull flag, and you can see that from the time of posting this, it's run up a little bit, it's pulled back just a little bit, and it's back up. So it still is about 25 pips above our 121.50 area, but there's a possibility that we could see the dollar yen dip down into 120.100 and even 120.50, and in both of those areas, I think there's some great buying interest. So let's talk about those just a little bit more. My big interest right now is in dollar pairs, and even more specifically in a few dollar pairs. So this euro dollar is making a nice little move. It broke our 110.50 area. If we look at this daily chart here, you can see a little bit better why that's such an important level. We had a lot of trouble getting above that for a little over a month. Lots of consolidation around that area, and then we broke right back through it again after the breakout of a nice little rising wedge. So as it broke through that, got through 110.50, it's getting bearish again. Remember, so we're already short in this pair, and and it's up some nice profit. Our lower target is 108.50 for now, and I honestly don't see any reason why the euro dollar wouldn't just keep running down. So 108.50 is like the very, very near term target. And I think that we could very easily see this continue quite a bit down below, back into the lows eventually. I don't really see why the euro wouldn't continue, back into the lows and even beyond that. So we're currently short. For anybody that's not in this, just look for opportunities. If this makes a run back up to 110 and even a little bit above 110, just look to short the rallies. Any moves up towards 110 or 110.50, short those rallies. Too much above 110.50 and this starts to get bullish again. So just keep an eye on that. We start clearing, 110.75, and this is probably going to be a bullish setup. One thing we have to remember here is that the euro dollar has gone a very, very long time without touching this 200 moving average on the daily chart, and eventually it's going to have to touch that, but it might be a while yet. So it hasn't really broken any records yet on, longest run without touching the 200 moving average. It could go a long time further, but eventually it's going to need to make its way up there. So that's where we're watching that 110.50 to 110.75 zone, right around 110.50 to 110.75. If it gets up into that area, we're starting to look for, this is just being kind of a little panic sell-off and a nice opportunity to buy that once again up into those higher ranges. But as long as it stays below about 110.50, we are bearish euro dollar, and any opportunities to sell any of these rallies as this pulls back up, we want to sell euro dollar and target 108.50 for now, and and 10600 as we go. So keep an eye on that. As far as the pound dollar goes, I'm a little torn on what I want to do with this pound dollar for the moment. We're sitting right at last week's low, which is around 154.50-ish area. And I just don't know what I want to do with this one yet. So I'm just I don't have a great setup anywhere. I don't have anything really amazing that's calling my name, and so I'm just kind of sitting out that one. And I'm sitting out a lot, actually. Dollar CAD is looking pretty interesting. I'm keeping an eye on this one. We've got a bit of a we've got a bit of a dichotomy going on with this dollar CAD. If we go, for example, and just peak, creep over here to peak at oil prices, we can see that oil prices are staying fairly strong, and they're probably even going to press a little tiny bit higher, and maybe even a lot higher as we go into summer. Typically in summertime, oil goes up, and the Canadian dollar will benefit from that. Now, we have big news for Canada this week: interest rate announcements, the rate statement, and so on. If any of that is hawkish, that'll drive that dollar CAD pair right back down again. So we're just going to keep an eye on this one, because I don't know if the dollar CAD is ready to roll over and just take it yet. It's our bigger setups and so on. The dollar CAD made a nice little dip. This big run up, it retraced the 38% area, and it's bounced up nicely. Technically, it's looking pretty good, and it's come off those lows pretty nicely and run back up. But again, with interest rate news coming out and with oil prices, still holding strong, I think we could see one more dip on this dollar CAD. And depending on how interest rate news goes, I will be buying that dip, maybe, or possibly if we start getting back below some of these crucial support levels like 121.70, then I may be starting to short dollar CAD once again. It just kind of depends. We've seen a lot of news, we've heard a lot of news that the U.S. is going to raise rates this year no matter what. But they keep saying this gradual stuff, and so I have a feeling, most of the time interest rates go in increments of a quarter of a point or a quarter of a percent or 0.25% is an often a common number to see interest rates go up or down. I have a feeling we're going to see like 0.1% rate hikes in the U.S. So our first rate hike is probably going to be about 0.1% as opposed to 0.25%, which is a little more common. So I think that kind of this bullish dollar stuff is going to be on a little bit of shaky ground. The Fed is really trying to not have any surprises and really be paced about that. So we're going to watch this dollar CAD as the week goes on to see how that goes. One pair that I'm very excited about and I've been posting on quite a bit is the dollar yen. I think the dollar yen is headed higher. It's continued to press higher, just like the dollar. The euro dollar, eventually the dollar yen is going to have to hit this 200 moving average, which is now down around 11700. Give or take. But for the moment, I'm just looking to buy dips on dollar yen. That's all I care about, is buying the dips on dollar yen. And so we have a little tiny bit of a setup on the 15-minute chart. 15-minute charts hasn't touched a 200 moving average in a little while. We could see some nice little dips down on this one. Anything down on dollar yen, anything down at like 12100, I would be very excited about getting into. And anything below 12100 would be very exciting to get into for a bit of a longer haul up. So you can see our weekly pivot is down here at about 120.83 and so on. So if we can get down to 12100 or thereabouts, I would buy the crap out of the dollar yen and ride this thing up to probably 124, give or take. So I think there's a nice 300 pip trade in the works there. So, 60, 70, 80 pip drop on dollar yen would be an awesome move coming up. So any of that move down and a continuation up would be super fantastic, and I'd love to see that. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. So I'm going to be looking to sell rallies on euro dollar. Anything up around 110, just below 110, just above 110, I'm going to be selling that one like crazy. And dollar yen, any dips down around 120-100, I'm going to be buying that like crazy. And that's kind of where we are. That's kind of what we're looking at. I like the Aussie New Zealand as well, and I'm still bearish Aussie New Zealand for the moment, especially as it stays below this 107.30 resistance area. I still think we have a nice opportunity for Aussie New Zealand to run down, at least into the 105.50, if not 105.00 area. And I'm looking forward to that. So that should be a nice little trade. And a lot of the rest of these, I'm just sidelining for the moment. I'm really focused on Aussie New Zealand, euro dollar, dollar yen, and dollar CAD this week. I think those are going to be some of the best movers. I'm going to hopefully have a good feel for what the pound dollar is going to be up to as well. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Updates are coming. Thanks for watching. I'd love to see you in the trading group this week. Remember, just go and visit. daytradersfx.com, and you can get a free trial and get everything set up there, and we'd love to have you. So thanks a bunch, everybody. Have a great day and a great week, and happy pipping.